Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north, and as you can see, it's anything but tropical today. I don't mind the rain, I do mind the wind. It's just that when it stops, if I could expect like nice clear blue skies, that'd be wonderful. But unfortunately, it tends to stick around. Once it starts, that's it. You've got overcast, dull, dismal skies forevermore. I know I'm always banging on about it. That's kind of a British thing, isn't it? We love to moan about the weather, but God, we've got something to moan about, haven't we? I know it's not extreme. We don't get tornadoes and hurricanes, but it's just this length of time throughout the year where they get these miserable overcast skies that gets everybody down. So, however, I am in the tropical greenhouse, so what better way to cheer us all up? So I thought we'd have a quick look at Streptocarpus today. So this is one of those kind of news update, plant update style videos, very much kind of freestyled, as it were. Just a few things occurred to me as I was tidying up these Streptocarpus this morning. So I will kind of take you on a quick tour of the streps and show you and point out some of the things that's going on with them and how I'm hoping to extend the season. Because when it gets to this time of year, it's cooler, obviously. I mean, I keep it at 12 degrees at this side, but that's still pretty cool. And they're not going to get so much sun, so much warmth now. And they are really suffering a little bit, not just because of the drop in temperatures. I mean, I've got the grow lights on, which is great, but I can't really compete with the nice bright sunshine. You know, grow lights are great, but these are a good distance away from the plants. I mean, I'm actually using them as if they're like fluorescent lights right at the top of the greenhouse, as you can see up there. You can just see that there without blinding you. Obviously the camera will take that away from you, so you'll be okay. So what I've got here, we've got these streps that are looking a little bit like they are just about clinging on and not really wanting to give me much more. And the way I can see from that is, well, obviously I'm getting lots of bloom drop now. Still get plenty of buds, and really there's no reason why I can't keep these plants going for another few months, especially like the Crystal Ice varieties are supposed to last all year. This one is a Streptocarpus Crystal Ice, one of Dibley's varieties. This one it's quite a slow starter in the year, but it just gets better and better. And you can see we've got nice green leaves on that. I'm not worried about that one. That one will definitely keep going till December. And what I'll do then is I will force it to have a break because I find that all these plants, all these streps need a break at some point. But you can see from the Pink Leyla variety over here that certainly the leaves are beginning to yellow. Now I'm at that point now. I mean, I've got that many Streptocarpus, and probably about a third of the way into the season, I feed them with one of these feeding sticks, these fertilizer sticks that you just stick in the pot. It gets to the point that I don't really know which ones I've stuck them in and which ones I haven't. And in the end, it's the plant that tells me, because you can see with the colour of the leaves compared to the one next to it, that one really is in need of a feed, and I've stuck a couple of feeding sticks in there now. I'll just show you a couple of varieties over here that you may not have seen. So these are some of my newer varieties. This one is Harlequin Purple, well, that one's not quite out yet. This one over here, I mean, they're so new I can't even remember what they are. That's Harlequin Lace. That's a really nice variety. Well, they're all really nice, aren't they, really? That's a lovely variety. I'll just move you down here. Another new one. This one's Harlequin Blue, I think. Yes, it is, which is actually quite purpley now. It was quite blue when it opened up. Beautiful variety. Again, some of the newer ones, you can see they've got these nice deep green leaves. These I don't think have been fed, but because they've only recently, I'd say like the past couple of weeks, they've only just started to bloom. They came as plug plants in springtime, and they've only just started to really get going. So these I'm not worried about. These will keep going at least until December. Probably a bit longer actually. So this one is Harlequin Dawn. You'll have seen this one lots of times if you watch my video. So this is Titania. So this was repotted in December last year. So you can see this is one where the leaves are beginning to yellow. You've seen the Pink Leyla again, yellowing leaves. Move you over. So this one is one of the the Botrytis varieties. So that's DS Caramel. Those two are going over, and of course the Kalahari, which everybody loves. Great big bloom on that one. You have seen the DS Aramis, that did have a bloom on it. That one's gone over now, but it'll come again. And over at the back here, one of my favourites is the Saphire. They're all my favourites, to be honest. is the Saphire. This kind of dust in the middle, that's just the pollen that's come out on the beautiful flower. I'll just whiz you around here. There are a few more things that I want to point out. Now where should we have a look at? So we've already mentioned about the fertilizer. You can see what happens there. If you use systemic insecticides on them, as I frequently do, which I really don't want to, and I'm working on it, I'm kind of going off the neem oil idea. Lots of people have mentioned to me about if it does get sun on it and there's a smell to it and it can kind of cook them and that kind of thing. I'm thinking really, and I've been thinking this for a long time, but I've never actually got round to it. I've still not researched it since Fudge came along, our puppy. You have had no time for anything other than chasing round after him, cleaning up. But my thinking now is that the greenhouse would be really an ideal place to do some organic control, pest control, especially coming through winter when it's pretty much shut up for the entire winter. And it's this time of the year, this time of the season when the aphids really get going. And it's so easy just to reach for the spray, but I really would like a source of, if anybody can mention any, do the research for me, save me doing it. No, really, I'm looking for somebody who's got experience in this, really. Mention any source where I can get these things from that would be good to munch aphids and maybe scale insects, and I can set them loose in the greenhouse and we can see what happens, see if we can get some kind of balance. So what I was going to point out is that you get this kind of thing. See how we've got like two leaves stuck together there? They've grown like that, and that's come from the fact that I sprayed them with systemics, so you get these really odd mutations. I've done a video on plant mutations, which surprisingly, even though it didn't do very well at first, is doing pretty well at the moment. Gosh, what's happened to that? Oh, it's all shrunk up and shriveled up. Wow, that's happened very quickly. I bet I've not watered it. I must keep missing it. Let's go and get that watered. Sorry for that little diversion. So yeah, and it's not just that you can notice it on. You can see it on blooms. You can see, let's see if I can point one out for you. Some of these blooms, they just don't open properly at this time of the year. I can't see any now. I did go around cleaning up some of these plants. I mean, we're talking this kind. They look like this kind of thing. I think that one's just not open properly. But when they look like that and they just don't open, they kind of come up and they stay in this kind of budded form. Now that can either mean that you spread them with systemics and it's a bit of a mutation. It could also mean bugs. And if it's not an aphid, I mean, the aphids are really easy to spot. They soon build up their numbers and they also drop all the little skins down below, so you'll be able to see that very easily. But Cyclamen are really Streptocarpus are really prone to cyclamen mite, and when you get to this time of year where they're all touching all these plants, the cyclamen mite transfer. They crawl and they transfer from one plant to the other. So what you tend to get is, first of all, you get these buds coming up that look like they're never going to open, and you also get damage on the leaves. Now, I've got rid of quite a few of mine that look like they were getting damaged. So the thing to look for is like a little bit down to the centre, and if you see it dying off in the middle of the leaf, then it's a pretty good indication that you've got cyclamen mite. Another problem, and I'll just move you over again, I did notice a leaf with it on and I can't see it anymore. I should have showed you before I cleaned up. There we go. You tend to get botrytis as well, and that's something that needs to come off pretty quickly. These leaves as well, it's dead easy to do. These leaves as well also get very, very long at this time of year. So at this time of year, make sure you keep deadheading. Cut these leaves off so that you can give a little bit more room for them to kind of spread out. They don't mind that at all. They're really, really good at producing some nice new green leaves if you get rid of these old manky ones. And watch out for botrytis. Watch out for any signs of cyclamen mite. There may well be an organic control for cyclamen mite. I've not researched it yet. That's something I need to look at. But systemics do solve that problem for quite a long time. I sprayed all these at the beginning of the year and they have kept free of cyclamen mite up until now. Cyclamen mite can go on any plant pretty much, not just on Streptocarpus, so that's something to be wary of. And if I show you down here, this is kind of the doctor's waiting room down here. You can see how much, especially those down there that've been in a pot for pretty much all year without any feed, so you can see they're beginning to look very, very yellow. So what I will do with those, I'm going to give them a feed. I'm going to strip a lot of those leaves off and try and leave the greener ones. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this polka dot purple. You can see there's definitely some botrytis on there, and you can see these really kind of reddening leaves. That's not happening on any of my other polka dot purples. So again, that might be a problem that I'm not really sure what it is at the moment. It's certainly producing plenty of blooms. There's another new one down here that you might not have seen. So this one is DS Frippet, DS Frippet. I don't know whether that's what it should look like because it's a new one for me, or whether it's going to open up a little bit more, but it has been like that for quite a few days. Could be that it's in a cool spot. So that was just a quick one on Streptocarpus and what's going on with my Streptocarpus and how you can give them a good little boost at this time of year. So I hope anyway that you found that useful. For some reason lots of people say to me how wonderful Streptocarpus look, and very few people seem to grow them. I've no idea why. They're so easy and they give you so much, and you can use them as fillers like I do all over the place. Really, really easy to propagate. Done a video on it. Check that out if you've not already. And if you're into Streptocarpus, then I'll put a playlist at the end and have a look through it and see how easy they are to grow and how satisfying they are to grow. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.